Hi, my name is Mare Cromwell, and I am a Gaia Mystic and High Priestess. I'm also an award-winning author with several books out of communications with Mother Gaia, working on my third one right now called Gaia's Web of Love. And I'm the founder and director of the Great Mother Loveway nonprofit based in North Carolina. And I'm also the co-web weaver and visionary of the Thousand Goddesses Gathering Global Grid. And this particular report that I am about to present is within the family of global grids of ceremonies and prayers that Mother Gaia asked me to organize. I have also organized a global grid of apology ceremonies to the original peoples and their ancestors 2 years ago. So Mother Gaia keeps me busy. And without much further ado, I'm going to present the report for the Loving Up Appalachia global prayer event that happened on November 29th, Friday, November 29th, 2024. So, as a little backstory, or not so little, Hurricane Helene, a 1,000-year weather event, devastated the western North Carolina region on September 27, 2024. In addition to hundreds of people losing their lives and thousands of homes destroyed, along with the livelihoods of many, many, many people, the raging floodwaters washed very high levels of contaminants, quote unquote, forever chemicals, into the water, depositing toxic silt and mud throughout the major river valleys in western North Carolina. Residents and pets began getting sick from the toxified mud and dust that remained in the aftermath of the huge storm. Numerous animals were even euthanized because of their exposure to the chemicals. In response to this despairing situation, on November 29th, Friday, November 29th at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Time, a unified field involving hundreds of people around our sacred earth focused prayers and ceremonies specifically on healing these toxified waters and soils. People gathered in the Asheville region and surrounding parts, boosted by the collective prayers and ceremonies of individuals and groups from around the United States, Europe, and other regions of the world. This worldwide event was prompted by a direct request from Mother Gaia to me on November 10th. So I had very little time to actually organize this. And as I mentioned before, I'm the visionary and co-web weaver of the Thousand Goddesses Gathering Global Grid, which is an annual subtle activism event which started in the fall of 2016 per another directive from Mother Gaia. I have surrendered to serve her. After receiving the request from Mother Gaia, I tuned into the overarching consciousness of the forever chemicals to ask if they're willing to transmute into basically source energy and inert molecules. Their response that I heard was that they were, quote unquote, eager to transmute as they knew they were not in alignment with the Earth's spiritual blueprint of sacred life. All who participated in the global grid on November 29th were invited to pray or do ceremony, which means basically invoking beautiful spiritual beings such as the archangels and others, to direct their collective hearts and energies on the toxins themselves, to quote unquote love them up, to the extent that the toxin molecules would choose to release their chemical bonds that made them toxic and transform into harmless molecules in alignment with Mother Gaia and all of her sacred seen and unseen ones. This unified field built on the incredible work of the Japanese water researcher Masaru Emoto, who demonstrated with his frozen water crystals how water responds to our thoughts, prayers, and energies around it. It also tapped the decades of research on the power of concentrated prayer to be a catalyst for healing. On the actual day of the event, I, Mayor, met with a group of significant healers and love workers to conduct water ceremony on the banks of the French Broad River in the town of Marshall, North Carolina. This town was severely impacted by the extremely high floodwaters from Hurricane Helene. And they're still rebuilding months afterwards. The overarching deva of the river, the French Broad River, joined us at our ceremony and shared afterwards that she was very grateful for the love and ceremony as it made a difference for her in all the waters there and all the sacred beings in the waters. So I'm going to share an email that I received from a gifted friend who lives in the DC area. She joined the global grid, Loving Up Appalachia global grid from her neighborhood just north of Washington, D.C. This is what she sent to me later that night. Dear Mayor, thank you so much for making this event possible. I feel so honored to have been a part. Spontaneously, I found myself connecting several hours beforehand, oddly enough, while I was sitting at a jigsaw puzzle, too tired to focus on anything else. I was calmly working on the puzzle when I felt called to connect to the land, the mountains, and the waters of Appalachia, as well as to the toxins. And then she put in parentheses, this happens to me sometimes that I have wonderful and deep connections in unexpected places. It was a beautiful, heartfelt place of communication with them. There were a lot of messages I conveyed. What feels important to share is that I had a strong sense they were taking in the prayerful messages and recognized them as genuine and from the heart. As I offered apologies to the elements and the compounds for being manufactured in a toxic formulation, I recognized that they did not want to do harm. I offered my prayers that they could transmute and transform into benign forms. While I didn't know how this could happen and wondered if I might call in beings who could help with this, I felt a clear message that such a transmutation and healing began with and required human connection, human intention, and our heartfelt prayers. So in these hours leading up to the prayer event, I felt the consciousness of the toxic substances and of the land and waters to be fully open to and awaiting our prayers. That our prayers and love would be the spark necessary for the transmutation and healing to take place, a process whose timeline and process I did not need to understand. And then she added, yes, the new earth energetics in action. So she continued. At 1:11, I was outside walking along our nearby creek, feeling very connected with all the others participating in prayer around the world at that time. I felt a gentle, luminous, sparkling light around. At once, I was connected with the waters of Appalachia, my little creek, and indeed the waters of the world and oceans. I felt and saw the sparkles of our divine love, prayers, and caring, filling these waterways to the deepest ocean realms. While walking home afterward, I felt called to connect with a tree along the path. The tree let me know that the trees in this forest, where she was in the DC region, that the trees in this forest now connect with the forest trees in Appalachia. The trees in Appalachia want to share with me that the land, forests, and waters of Appalachia have taken in our prayers today. And I'm getting chilly bumps as I'm reading this to you here for this recording. The trees in Appalachia want to share with me that the land, forests, and waters of Appalachia have taken in our prayers today. They know them to be genuinely from our hearts. The trees are grateful for the prayers and to have people coming back to a sacred and ancient role of partnership. Something has been set in motion. It is difficult to find words for the feelings I experience, but this is the best I can do right now. So much love to you, Mare, for creating this space of stirring, awakening, healing, and transmutation. So that was the end of her email to me. I want to also add that I received the report from Mother Gaia that the trees, waters, nature, spirits, and other sacred seen and unseen ones all over the world were grateful for what the Loving Up Appalachia Global Prayer event on November 29th catalyzed. They were quite aware of the unified field of healing. Spirit knows everything. Since all the waters of the world are connected and in truth one, the love-filled energies behind the prayers and ceremonies focused on the Appalachian Mountains rippled out far beyond that region of the world and brought a subtle level of healing to all the waters of the world. This is what Mother Gaia and the consciousness of water, Mother of Water, informed me. And it's really important to really state point blank that love is the most powerful force in the universe. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. So when we come from our hearts and love, we have far more agency than we realize. We can tune in, shift to our hearts, direct our thoughts and prayers to create beautiful and much needed change. On a scientific level, how incredible it would be to have researchers document the shifts in toxicity from a unified field of focused prayer on the toxins, as researchers have been doing with the power of prayer over the past few decades, along the lines of what the HeartMath Institute does with heart coherence. I'm putting that out there as a vision, researchers documenting these. And as so many are awakening to realize, quote unquote, it is all energy and consciousness. We have the capacity to be highly empowered catalysts of tremendous change in this time of the great healing. This is what we're living in right now, the time of the great healing. And of course, we need to limit and ultimately phase out these forever chemicals that are toxifying too much of the earth. For more information on alternative, environmentally sensitive products we can use in the home, garden, and workplace, explore the Environmental Working Group's website. And I'm going to put that link below this recording. And I want to put a huge shout out of so much love and gratitude to all the sponsors of that event on November 29th. They all came on board really fast because Mother Gaia basically gave me about 2.5 weeks to organize that global grid. But I want to thank the Emoto Peace Project and the World Water Festival Matsuri, which is actually spearheaded partly by Masaru Emoto's son, Hiro Emoto. I want to thank Unity Earth and the Natural Network International. And finally, I want to thank the Global Peace Tribe. Now, next steps, because it's really clear that something happened that day that needs to continue. What the November 29th Loving Up Appalachia event has prompted is a vision of the 1,000 Goddesses Gathering Global Grid connecting ceremony all over the world on a specific day in 2025. And it looks like it's probably going to be in September. We will be manifesting a unified field of love focused on our sacred waters and the toxins within our waters to encourage the toxins to transmute back into love as part of Gaia's web of love. So stay tuned on that front. So much love and gratitude to all of you. And please subscribe to these videos and join the Great Mother Love Way email list. And actually, I will put a big shout out that I am launching the next iteration, which is a really enhanced version of the Great Mother Love Way year-long course at the end of March, toward the end of March 2025, if you're watching this before then. Would love to have you apply to join us. Okay, on that note, one more thing. This painting was painted by the partner of a really good friend of mine. It's a Dutch painter named Elke Jan Weersma. And I'm working on their making this painting along with other amazing paintings that Elke Jan's done available online, really easy to purchase prints and mugs and duvet covers and things like that. Okay, I'll end at that note. Hugs and big love to all of you. Ceremony and prayer in our hearts, from our hearts, is incredible. And we need all this as much as possible these days. Love. Bye.